Coming up on True Friend with Cory Montell Scott.
There was tension even with the Oscars thing. It all kind of happened really fast, and that was my first time being a part of something of that caliber. But the producers, a lot of them are moving so fast that sometimes you can feel, or it almost felt like you were being talked at instead of talked to. And it's like, get her over there. She's in the shot over here. She needs to be. So you kind of like, okay, where to go? You're like, I'm going through all of this for 12 seconds.
If you need a helping hand, let me tell you about a friend. He won't switch up on you, he'll love you through and through. In your time of need, he'll be a true friend indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of True Friend with Cory Montell Scott. Now, if you want to stay up to date on future episodes, make sure you click that subscribe button down below. Listen, we have someone who I've been inspired and blessed by since before the album ever came out. Been following her on social media for a long time, so it's a pleasure to talk to her today. Y'all may know her, y'all may not, but you're going to learn her today. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, Lena Byrd Miles.
Hi, everybody.
Listen, Lena, it's a blessing to have you here. Gosh, I think I came across you, I think somewhere around 2017. So it's been a minute, and you've been making those moves in gospel music. So we're going to talk all about that. But first, who is Lena Byrd Miles, and how would you define yourself to someone who has never met or heard of you before?
Okay, I'm a hairstylist, a singer, the oldest of 3 children, but Oakland, California native, served at my granddaddy's church for years, and still when I can, I'm back and forth. But just a wife, a singer, friend, a big sister, an auntie. I think I'm the girl that I can't say everybody loves, but a lot of people love me. I'm genuine. I'm authentic, unapologetically me. I love the Lord. I'm trying to list all the things. I love to eat. I love to laugh. All the things that kind of make you as balanced as you can be in Jesus. That's what I try to aspire to be.
And you listed a whole lot of things. I mean, you've been blessed. Hairstylist. I have a 4-year-old daughter, and this last year I had to do a whole lot of that hairstyling, and I don't know how you did it. I'm on the phone with my wife. How do I part? Why I don't look right? Having to learn how to braid, and more power to you. But what we, or the general public, has come to know you as is a fantastic, we throw this word out there a lot, and people don't be knowing what the definition is, but I can say it with you, powerhouse of a singer, because you don't just have the skill and the runs, you have the range for it. So, and it's something that you can do both in studio and out studio. That don't happen all the time, Lena. So I want to ask you, who are your musical influences?
Ooh, there are many, many, many of them. I'm going to try to remember the majority but there's so many. I'm a big kind of gumbo pot of gospel artists, because in my house we grew up listening to gospel, pretty much only gospel. My parents, they didn't say you couldn't listen to secular music, but they didn't purchase it and have it around. So when I did start listening to secular artists, it was because I was sneaking and hearing it from my friends at school or things like that. But I'll start off with like your Andre Crouch was played a lot in my house, Rance Allen, James Moore, Daryl Coley, Richard Smallwood and the Smallwood Singers early on, the Clark Sisters. And then later on, when I got to like the age where I started like going to my go-tos, it became your Kim Burrells and your Mary and your Karen Clark Sheard when she released her solo album, and your Dorinda when they released their solo albums. And I started really like, I want to try to mimic that or try to incorporate that. So definitely those. And then my secular, Coco from SWV, when I found out who she was, I was just like infatuated with her range and her style. And of course others followed, but she was like with that I'm So Into You and Weak song. I was just like, who is this? And then to come find out, she got her start in church. So that's why she resonated with a lot of saints kids, So those are just those are just a few that come to mind, that I would really be like, shh, everybody be quiet if I heard them in the, in the airwaves. I'm trying to hear. Or I would just escape and try to go listen. If it was too loud where I was, I would try to find the radio and hear whatever else was going on. But yeah, those are just, I have to give love to the Hawkins. We heard a lot of them in our house too. And of course, they're Bay Area legends and icons too. So shout out to Walter and Edwin as they rest in peace.
That's beautiful. I mean, that is a smorgasbord, if I can use
Yeah.
that word, of of singing. I mean, but that's what I believe makes every great artist, because some of those very same names you mentioned, and speaking of Kim Burrell, who's somebody who I love and adore. You're talking about someone who listens to everybody. I remember someone asked her, "Who would you like to work with?" And she said, "Tony Bennett. I'd take anything that he'd give me." And I'm like, that makes so much sense, but that's the craziest thing to hear from somebody from the Church of God in Christ. So I want to ask you, is there anybody, either in that list or out of that list, that you would like to collaborate with in the future?
Oh my gosh, several I've been blessed to meet from that list and work with. Not really putting anything down on wax yet, but I would say a future. I always use them would be probably like a Marvin Winans. I was blessed to do some work with BB this year for the first time in St. Louis, and that was like dream come true. I would say like they were just the other family, because that was another family influence that my dad played a lot of Winans and Commission, but that Detroit, sound was definitely like prevalent in our house. But I would say I would do something with Cece. I would love to do a collaboration with her. I feel like that would just I probably would pass out. Um, but anybody from the Winans family. Thankfully, I've been blessed to work also with Juan Winans, the Winans Phase 2 guy who awesome singer songwriter, but he actually did some writing for my album. But vocally, to do an exchange, I probably would either pass out with Marvin or CC as well. So those are my two for now that come to mind.
Well, we've listed a lot of stuff that you can do, singing, hairstyling. Also, many people don't know, if they can't tell already, you're a bit of a comedian. And but there's one thing that you do, Lena, that blesses me, that you probably don't even know I'm getting ready to say.
Uh-oh.
But you have a blessing to put people on to things they don't even know exist, like this ridiculous collaboration between Dottie Peoples and Bobby Valentino. Let me tell you something. When I saw that, I rushed to Apple Music and put everybody on. So for the last however many years since the Lord revealed that to you, because flesh and blood couldn't have revealed that to you, Lena. So during that time period, when me and my sister get together, we play that, man. Oh God, it's a mess. So thank you so much for that. You have no idea how much that has blessed in my life.
Of all the things. And I think I seen it on somebody's page, because with my Instagram, I'm always like that. My explore section recommends all kind of funny stuff. So I clicked on it like, wait, what am I hearing? So I couldn't wait because I was like, I know I'm not the only one who would find this like the collaboration of all time. I never would have put them two together, but it's a blessing. It's the gift that keeps on giving. So shout out to those two for
Bobby V
giving
and
us that.
Dottie Peoples. But I think sometimes the church needs to bridge the gap like that. We do need to shock people with those collaborations, because Tony Bennett and KB would have been insane.
It really would have. And there's still a few that we can, put together that you would be like, wow, I wouldn't have put them together, but I like that. Yes, I agree. I agree. Maybe in 2025 we'll see some.
From your mouth to God's ears. So, Lena, you've enjoyed a pretty successful start of a career, and this might not be what it is, but to me and others on the outside looking in, it's almost like your presence on Instagram had already kind of paved the way for the success that followed when you finally did release that debut project. What has, to you, been the most rewarding or valuable thing that you've learned so far in this career as a successful gospel recording artist?
Very good connection and correlation. I think it's remaining true to who I am. And that's at my core. Like, the girl next door that still love eating nachos or Doritos. I don't have to have the finest of, because sometimes people shift into this other person when they release music and become whatever, if you're a celebrity or whatever, but you're not staying true to who people fell in love with you as, the authentic you, the genuine presence that people, whether, added to the humor and the, feeling a lot of things. One of the things that a lot of people will say to me is like, you're exactly what I thought you was going to be based off of your Instagram. And then they say you make me feel like I'm your cousin or best friend or whatever. So I think when people feel like they can connect, that's been one of the greatest gifts that God has given me. When they feel like they can relate, they feel like you're approachable. Because you need people on both ends. I need them. They need me. They need whatever the ministry that I'm giving, but I also need them. Like, we feed off of those testimonies, those encouraging words. And I'll share this testimony about a gentleman who DM'd me and said he was listening to, well, he was laughing at memes from my Instagram while waiting on the news from his sister's car accident. And she actually succumbed to her injuries. She passed away while they were waiting on the doctor to give them the news. They were on my Instagram laughing at memes, just the family. And then after they got the news, they went to videos of me singing and started being ministered to. So the fact that God would couple my humor and my ministry to comfort a family, like, that's better than any award, any accolade, because that's what I signed up for. I signed up for my gift or gifts to bring him glory. However, however it's packaged, whether it's with my humor, with my song microphone, with me just cash apping somebody randomly, that it brings God glory. Ultimately, it's cool to say, "Oh, she's a good person. She's a sweetheart." But if it's not pointing the light back to Him, then there's no point. So I think remaining true has been the most valuable thing, and really making sure what I do is pleasing to Him.
And that comes out in your personality. A lot of people think it's because the runs are cold, but really what's selling that thing is the fact that you're a nice person. You really have a heart for God. It's not fluff. And most people who have the gift of discernment and can identify that know it immediately. A few little shabba-doo-doo-doo-doo-wees ain't gonna cover up the nasty spirit. And so
talk about it, Mr. Cory. Talk about it.
No, I appreciate it. And I appreciate you being that person, because you can never have enough of that. I was sitting in the living room when you did that little snippet on the Academy Awards. I mean, you don't know how much it blessed my soul to see you share a stage with Jamie Lee Curtis. I was like, this is crazy. This is crazy. So you've been everywhere from the Stellar Awards to the Academy Awards. Lena, what steps have you taken to maintain your witness?
I think it's the accountability within my tribe, along with, thankfully, God placed me with some great people in the industry. You have your Erica, Tina Campbell's, Mary, and Warren Campbell. Then, of course, I have great parents, leaders, and grandparents that I'm accountable, and, have things that they make sure you do this. Make sure when people are loving you like that, where they want you to represent well, they keep things on your radar. How you dress, how you entreat people, how you encounter people. And even my husband, that's who I live with. So he's constantly make sure, do this, be mindful of that. But I think when you're always in a posture to please God, certain things will convict you, or, stay on your radar to make sure that you don't kill your witness in trying to be a witness. Certain things that, certain places you might not go, certain words you won't say, certain ways you won't react. Because there was tension even with the Oscars thing. It all kind of happened really fast. And that was my first time being a part of something of that caliber. But the producers, a lot of them are moving so fast that sometimes you can feel, or it almost felt like you were being talked at instead of talk to. And it's like, get her over there. She's in the shot over here. She needs to be. So you kind of like, okay, where to go? You're like, I'm going through all of this for 12 seconds. And, but it serves its purpose. Even in all of that, God is like, I still put you here to bring me glory. You singing a gospel song about heaven is going to be viewed by thousands, whether they enjoy it or not. It's still putting his name. So what are you doing away from the microphone that also is making his name great? And one of the things that blessed me with all of my nervousness, I had three of I guess they were like camera guys or whatever. They were like, oh my gosh, are you from LA? And if you were ever to put a hat out, we would be putting money in it. I said, well, I sure could use it because I live 6 hours away. And I drove in because of how fast everything happened. There wasn't enough time for me to get a flight that would get me there in time with all the COVID measures. And I had to be there super, super early in the morning. I live 6 hours away from LA. So I drove in to get there on time, to go through all of the credentials and everything. So I was explaining to them how I drove in, and they all was like, give us a second. They went and got some friends, and they all came back with like $20 bills. This is just some gas money we want to give you. I was like, no, you don't have to do that. I just started crying. I was just like, how random and awesome at the same time of God to let you know, I have people in your corner that you ain't even met fully, but they're in support. You know, that you can get a kudos, a pat on the back, and just love from strangers that say, hey, this blessed me. Just seeing you in rehearsal, seeing you joke and laugh, or one of the things you seem like such a happy person. What is it? And that's an icebreaker for me to tell them. Well, it's Jesus in my life, and he's done these things, and he put me here to meet you. All of these type of things like that. So I think, to go all the way back to the top, is just to keep yourself in a posture to please him and make your witness all about him. I think that when that stays on the radar, then I feel like you maintain a healthy witness by doing all the things necessary, your devotion, your Bible studies, your going, watching whoever you are inspired by that ministers to your spirit. All the things, they all compile together, and I think help you maintain a healthy witness.
I came across an interview, and you said something that really stuck out to me. I think the interviewer had asked something like, what's something that you won't do? One of the things you said, which is it should be a standard, but you don't hear a whole lot of people saying it. But you said that keeping your husband first. And if there's something that comes up and he says, I don't think I should do that, I'm going to follow my husband.
I believe when the leader of the household is definitely postured before the Lord, which I see my husband in his actions and in the way he handles our home and how he puts me first in considering me making this decision. How will it affect my wife? How will it affect our income? How will it affect? So it makes it easy to be like, well, why would he consider this? Or what would Toby do? What would my husband do? What would he, things like that. But my husband came in our marriage, just realizing that we were kind of raised in church, and thankfully, even though we were in the hood, we weren't out in the hood like that. But here go my husband, who had both sides. He was in the church, but he was in the hood as well. So he recognized certain, I'll call them like familiar spirits, when certain people come and they're, I don't think you should, that person might be trying to get over on you. He's always been, when we were dating, he just had a great gift of discerning certain things. And so, of course, moving into marriage, you're like, hey, this person ain't never steered me wrong. Then the proof is in the outcomes, and he is not also a person that'll be like, I told you about, you just end up putting it together like, he said that they were going to do X, Y, Z, and it played itself out. So it's almost like it proved itself. And over time, when a person's pattern and record is nothing but what he said came to pass, or at saying there's some times where you be like, I don't know, he'll give me the lead, like you do what you feel is best, but I don't know, I feel a little bit like this person might be doing stuff for whatever, or that might not be the way, or we should wait on this decision, or we should wait before we make this move. But I think it's been because of me seeing the proof and just being friends first, and then becoming a couple. God has really favored our marriage and favored him in the decisions that he's made for our family. So it's not hard to say, if he says no, then I just can't, because it's a reason.
That's beautiful. You don't know how many people you're helping out. I mean, couples young and older. A lot of people struggle with that balance, because I've been in environments where my husband is the head of my house, and you hear, ooh, and I'm just like, what? This is church. This is what we've always grown up on. So, Lena, I appreciate that. I want to shift gears here. I thought it was a match made in heaven when you teamed up with Pastor Warren Campbell and the My Block Inc. recording label. How organic was that connection? How God ordained was that connection with Warren Campbell?
I feel like it couldn't get any better than that because, and like I call you might have seen on other interviews or just heard me say the two words divine random, which is what my life is full of. My whole musical journey has been full of that. But yeah, my husband and I, we don't have children. So we're still big kids when it comes to amusement parks and all the things that we loved in our childhood. We that's like our dates to do still. So we set out to go to Los Angeles. Like I said, I live 6 hours. Everyone thinks I live in LA because I'm there a lot doing work and music stuff. But I live 6 hours away. So we decided to do a road trip there and be big kids. He sees my plate of food, reaches out. We're flipping out that he reaches out on Instagram to us over some Roscoe's, sets up a meeting. I'll fast forward in the meeting. It was just awesome to see because Erica wasn't able to come to the meeting. She was out of town. But he and my husband were just back and forth with phones looking at YouTube videos of me. I'm just sitting there watching them engage. And I'm like, this is crazy. That, and he like, oh, I like that run. Plus my husband's a musician. So they're looking at musicians and all of the things when he played for her, he had her right, just all these different, I like him, we might do something with it. So they're having their exchange. It was crazy. And then I ended up going into one of the studio rooms with him and we sang, I sang Great Is Thy Faithfulness, and he played organ. And then after that is when he takes me back in the room and he's like, I would love to have you sign and we see where your career in gospel music can go. And I just like all of this from us just following the prompting of coming here and, just innocently, purely just trying to really spend time with one another. And I feel like that was another way God honored just our marital, pour into each other, that he would give me something I totally wasn't expecting. So that's how it's happened. And we've been like, family ever since. Like I'm talking about eating Erica making me bacon and grits and eggs and
that's family.
Yeah, and me being the last one in their house as they went to kids recitals, and I had to wait on my Uber driver to take me to the airport. So he like, yeah, Doc, lock everything up when you leave.
Oh, God.
I mean, it's so organic. It feels like we've known each other for years outside of the 8+ years that they've been in my life. But I'm so thankful for them. And even to go further to the extended family, Mom and Pop Campbell become like a second set of parents when I'm in LA. And I had an Uber driver talk to me crazy one time, and Pop Campbell busts through the house. Where is he at? You don't talk to her like, yeah, he was a gentleman of another ethnicity, and he was kind of like, well, what type of work do you do, so to speak? He thought I was the lady of the night. So when Pop Campbell got word, he came running down there long drive. I think he was ready to lay hands, and not the.
Oh God!
It was. But I mean, you're like, to go away, and this ain't my blood daddy, but that's how my blood daddy probably would have reacted as well, if not worse. I think my blood daddy would have drove to LA and tried to figure. He might still be trying to find him if he could, but that was just the fact that you would have people like that in your corner and showing up even when I'm not just doing things for my block or at Cali Worship. They show up. They're in the audience cheering and rooting and celebrating and excited and all the things, giving you pointers and all the things like that. So it's been a blessing, more than a blessing.
And it's birthed some of the most I feel safe using the word timeless because when
Oh
This Is the
wow.
Day came out, man, I waited up till midnight and I played it in my studio was upstairs in my bedroom. And I said, oh yeah, this is it. Message, rhythm, vocals, production. This the song. And
Oh,
then shout out to Darlene McCoy.
yes, I love
One night
her.
I was driving and it was late, like 2 a.m. I was coming from somewhere. I'd been traveling and Walk on Water came on to the radio. And I was like, oh man. So when the album came out, I can just start. I don't need it. All those songs that I
Thank
enjoy from that
you.
album, yeah. And then the collaboration with well, they used to be called the Hamiltones,
Yeah, yeah. The tone.
so Lena, you've created this. If I could compare it to anything, it would be the feeling that we felt when we heard Finally Karen and when we heard Everlasting
Oh,
Life by Kim Burrell and when we heard all those albums that are just in our Rolodex
thank
of great
you.
timeless gospel
Oh my
classics. So
gosh.
yeah, you have been a tremendous blessing, and I believe you're paving the way for a whole nother. It's crazy how in music, wherever genre, that baton is getting passed. And
Yeah,
Lena, I believe it's your time, and
thank
people are
you.
starting to recognize that. I mean, God has done a tremendous thing through you. So I thank you for being humble and saying yes to the call. Most importantly, because sometimes people run away from it, and my understanding is that you never really wanted this thing, but you said yes to God. So
Yeah, it sought me for real. I mean, I love to sing. Don't get me wrong, and leading worship at our local church, and even when we got married, we changed churches. But at my grandparents, I loved to serve. Like it was a joy. My parents still play there to this day. My dad is a bass player. He's an elder also in the church, and my mom's the minister of music, plays organ. So of course we had to. It's kind of different when you grow up in doing. It's second nature. So you don't even though it is a chore, you end up shifting at one point in your life and you grow to love the certain songs you led in the choir and all those things that become a part of you. So I said yes to all of that. But when it shifted to you becoming artist, Lena, I didn't know what all that entailed. And that's been a journey in itself, but an awesome one. Like, I don't have any regrets or any negative things to say about God and His time. And here I am at 42. And sometimes you feel like I'm just getting started and I'm 40 in my 40s. Maybe it's too late. You feel a little antsy at times, but you're like, hey, God is sovereign. He has a plan. You just got to trust it.
what is next for Lena Byrd Miles?
We are on the road to, well, when both of us probably get some time to really get in the studio like that, because I'm steady going. Thankfully, like, thank you to all the ministries that are inviting me and all the people that are wanting to collaborate. I've done stuff with Killer Mike. I have something coming up with him this weekend, which is a Clark Sisters song that was sampled on one of his rap songs called Shed Tears, and it's been opening all kind of doors for me to even have my light shared with his and in his environments. And God is just blessing in the avenue of me being a witness outside of what I'm used to. So I'm kind of in that, okay, Lord, where you say I'm going, okay. Here I am, but let me really reflect your glory in whatever exchange that's presented before me. But yeah, and that's one of the things. But definitely trying to get started on that second project, and we gotta try to outdo the first. With you giving accolades to it like that and compared it to Everlasting Life, Timeless, and Finally Karen, I got some serious work to do.
Just be yourself. See, because that's where people mess up right there. They be trying to outdo that first one, but we want you to be authentic. That's what they do. We love singers for who they are. And a lot of times they get in. I'll have this talk, especially as it relates to what the gospel sounds like in CCM. We love
Yeah,
CCM. CCM is great in the service of purpose. That doesn't mean that we have to lose our identity in
yeah,
CCM. We can be blessed by it, but our upbringing, see, well, it wasn't mine, but I'm familiar with the people who were born on the pew basically and stayed there forever. That there's power in that. There's a testimony in that. And so, no, Lena, just keep on doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
If you could just take a few moments and give some words of encouragement to any artist, gospel artists who may be just getting into it, or even the ones who have been working at this thing and it's been a couple of decades, they haven't seen the fruit from it. Give some words of encouragement. This is your time to do that.
Okay. I really would say you have to seek the Lord and stay before Him as far as, am I on the right track when it comes to this? And if so, give me signs and ways of letting me know that I should keep going, or maybe I should put this in to the side and work on maybe the songwriting part, or maybe not the vocal part so much, but just really stand before the Lord to see what He says as far as where you are in your music part. But other than that, I would say stay authentically who you are. Stay true to what you feel your sound is that He gave you. Don't try to compare yourself or switch up because you see more people gravitating toward this. But if God gave you a sound or a certain thing and that's your signature, run with that. Be confident in it. Commit it to Him, first of all, and let Him bless it. Let Him make the connections to people. Don't try to be so well, the Bible tells us don't be anxious for anything, but really commit your ways and your work to the Lord, and let Him make the room. He'll connect you to who's necessary. But stick to it. Keep going. Don't be weary in the well doing. Don't doubt yourself. And then love on the people that you're assigned to. Make sure you're loving when those people are coming to you and giving you those compliments. Take it all in. Take it, like rest in those things and let it build you up when you do feel shaky about certain things. You're like, no, this that one little girl who they said play my music when she go to sleep at night. Those things. You're like, if I just win one soul to God, then to God be the glory.